Good morning, folks. Today, we are diving into a range of global headlines that are making waves. From Australia's political turmoil to Europe's fiery crises, and the Middle East's escalating tensions, there's a lot to unpack. Let's get started. Australia's democracy in crisis. In Australia, the Governor General, Sam Mostyn, has issued a stark warning about the country's democratic foundations. The concern? A growing catastrophe stemming from a lack of understanding of the country's constitutional framework. This isn't just about civics education, it's about the very fabric of democratic participation. As attacks on institutions and threats against elected officials rise, the question looms: how can we strengthen our democratic institutions and ensure they remain resilient? The ICAC hearings and political scandals. Speaking of Australia, the NSW ICAC hearings have been a spectacle, painting the Liberal Party in a poor light. The evidence has left colleagues anxious and factional enemies angry. It raises a deeper question: how can we restore trust in politics? The Shit Sheets and Political Scandals podcast, hosted by Josephine Tovey, delves into this very issue, inviting listeners to reflect on the state of trust in Australian politics. Europe's wildfires and boycotts. Over in Europe, wildfires have ravaged France and England, forcing the Clooneys to evacuate their home and leading to a record number of heat-related deaths. But it's not just the fires that are making headlines. European football federations have agreed to boycott FIFA competitions if FIFA sells chunks of the World Cup to US-based private investment. This boycott raises a question: how can we protect the integrity of global sports competitions? The Middle East's military build-up. In the Middle East, Saudi Arabia is preparing for a major military offensive against the Houthis in Yemen. This comes as three-quarters of Americans believe Donald Trump is not paying enough attention to the country's most important problems. It's a complex web of conflicts and political tensions that demand our attention and understanding. A U.S. government map blunder. A U.S. government map of Africa mislabeled every country during a State Department presentation in Brazil. This blunder caused a stir among attendees, who took screenshots and posted them online. It raises a question: how can we ensure accuracy and transparency in government communications, especially when it comes to global issues? Brexit bounce and post-Brexit rights. Two Polish citizens who have lived in the UK for nearly 80 years were stuck in Krakow after being told by Ryanair staff they didn't have post-Brexit rights to return to the UK. This experience highlights the challenges and complexities of Brexit, leaving us with a question: how can we ensure fair and equitable treatment for all citizens in the post-Brexit era? Australia's sports dominance. Back home, Australia's team pursuiters had mixed fortunes on day one of the Commonwealth Games, with the men losing gold to England and the women triumphing. Meanwhile, the AFLW All-Stars game is sold out, celebrating the impact of Irish players on the game. It's a reminder of the power of sports to unite and inspire. Economic challenges and rate hikes. Economists warn that Australia still faces rate hikes this year, despite recent inflation reports. State health ministers have revolted against plans to scrap higher private health insurance rebates for over 65s, and the Tasmanian government has backtracked on a plan for a Bunnings-style car park. These economic challenges demand careful consideration and strategic planning. A book returned after 150 years. Finally, a heartwarming story: an Australian public library has had a book returned an estimated 150 years late after being found behind a wall during a home renovation. It's a reminder of the power of storytelling and the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. Wrapping up. There you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of global headlines that showcase the complexities and challenges of our world. From democracy and politics to sports and economics, these stories demand our attention and reflection. Stay tuned, as we'll be back tomorrow with more breaking news and insights. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to sign up for our newsletters to stay in the loop.